What's up, y'all? So, just about to call and cancel an appointment with the doctor's office because the receptionist did something that to me was so unprofessional. Um, I believe Black Lives Matter, and having a medical clinic that's all white or other businesses that only employ white people gives them real license to say some ignorant stuff. I got a comment on my shirt from the receptionist. She asked what it was. I said Black Lives Matter, and she kind of shook her head and she said, "Well, I'd like to get one that says All Lives Matter." And it just shows that she doesn't know enough Black people to even understand that racism and violence against Black Americans is a huge epidemic. And so I was about to call back and cancel my appointment that I made and to let her know why. And I thought it would be better if I could think of a resource that could give her some info, because she told me that the reason why she starts conversations like this is because she likes to educate herself. So anyway, so I pulled up blacklivesmatter.com. I'm sure you can't see it, but this might be one place to start. But I was wondering if there's a website or an org that's deliberately intended to try to reach those segregated white people who don't even have a Black friend, much less a family member or a partner. I have a feeling there's something out there to reach them, but I don't know what it is, because I read a lot of stuff about Black American issues, but what about the beginners who've never read anything, never even had a Black friend? I got a little stack of books I want to show. This is about incarceration, which is one of our most urgent issues. Personally, I don't think prisons are serving much of a purpose. They don't tend to. Judges don't sentence white people to prison terms the way they sentence Black and brown people. It's just not happening. So it's just a one-sided racist system, just mostly locking up people of color. So anyway, this is a book from Eugene Puryear, who's really knowledgeable author, and it is printed by the Party for Socialism and Liberation, which I highly recommend. And speaking of political parties, the US has about 20 political parties, and the Republicans are far right, but the Democrats are very much right of center as well. We have about 12 parties that are to the left of the Democratic Party. So this whole right-left discussion about Republicans and Democrats is a lie if you look at it in terms of where they sit compared to the American people and to the other parties that we already have in the US. The Democrats are not a left party, they're a moderate right party. We have two major conservative parties and no major liberal party. This one is by Egberto Willis. He's an immigrant from Dominican Republic, Black man, very knowledgeable. And this is called It's Worth It, How to Talk to Your Right-Wing Relatives, Friends, and Neighbors. I don't have much experience talking to right-wingers. It's really hard for me. I can talk to Democrats and try to convince them to be more progressive. Talking to conservatives is really hard because I find their beliefs kind of offensive. This one I haven't read yet, but it's The Sum of Us by Heather McGee. And I've listened to her in some interviews, and it's good. This is a map from the Southern Poverty Law Center showing the proliferation of hate groups across the U.S. Most of them are in the East, but every single state in the U.S. has at least one hate group, and the East is crawling with them. And the one point I wanted to make, and I wish that the receptionist could learn this information, is that none of these hate groups are black or brown. These are generally white people. And here is the list of the various categories of hate groups that have been designated by the Southern Poverty Law Center. We've got Ku Klux Klan, neo-Nazi, white nationalist, racist skinhead, Christian identity, neo-Confederate, neo-Volkish, anti-immigrant, anti-LGBT, anti-Muslim, and general hate. So my point is that there are no black hate groups. And so this receptionist tells me that all lives matter. And then she starts talking about her grandkids. And I think the implication was that if we all become indoctrinated to believe that Black Lives Matter, that is a threat to her little white grandkids and their future. It's hard to know where to start. But she did confess to me that she's from a town that only had 2 black people, and one of them is her bestie or whatever. And her bestie says, yeah, it happened all the time. Why do you think I don't talk to this and that person, you know? But why do we have to have so many workplaces that are all white? I mean, it's such a way to maintain a white supremacist system if we just keep being segregated without, like, laws maintaining segregation were struck down in the 60s, but we still have numerous businesses that wouldn't know what to do if a non-white person was in a leadership position. Why should we do business with them? I try not to. It's just common sense. Some people think it's arrogance. I've been called arrogant, social justice warrior, as if that's a bad word. And what's that other word I got called? It's really important to remember this because I'm trying not to offend people with my judgmentalism, but I got called sorry, it's on the tip of my tongue. Sanctimonious. And I looked it up. It said something along the lines of making a show of moral superiority. It's just anti-racism. It's a step beyond not being racist. We're not in a post-racist world. Or a post-racist nation. We're still in a racist nation. We're still in a white supremacist system. So instead of just being non-racist or this colorblind nonsense, that's what this receptionist told me. She's like, I never saw color. I don't see color. Good. I'm a good old boy, good old girl. No. We need to see it for what it is and not just be non-racist, but anti-racist. That's just my opinion anyway. Let me throw out a couple other authors that I want to suggest. There's, of course, Dr. Cornel West, formerly a professor at Princeton. There's Eddie Glaude. There's I highly recommend the book When They Call You a Terrorist by Patrice Kahn-Cullors, who's the one of the founders of the Black Lives Matter movement. And I read a little bit of James Baldwin. I'm going to go back and read more of his. And of course, I'm planning to read some of Angela Davis. I think a long time ago, I may have read something by Eldridge Cleaver, other people that were founders of the Black Panthers. I had a bunch of names written down, but this is just a bunch of journaling, so I can't find it at the moment. But I just wanted to get this out. And so here's the question. Why, what can we do other than just read off the names of who the real bad guys are as far as hate groups, and point out that none of those are black people? What is a basic book or YouTube clip to show to our white brothers and sisters who are so segregated that they don't really have any black friends or even know how to behave among people that are not white? That's what I'm getting at. So put your opinions in the comments. Peace and love.